Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. Today I'm going to be making some marshmallow fondant. I really don't like the store-bought fondant, and so I found this recipe, and when I had to make my cousin's daughter cake, she wanted a pig cake. So I actually formed the body of the pig in this big old bowl. But I needed some fondant, so it worked out real good and it tasted real good. So my daughter's birthday is tomorrow, so this fondant needs to set out for about 12 to 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and make it the evening before. And then tomorrow I'll make the cake and do the rest. So this is a 10-ounce bag of just mini marshmallows. Try to get the mini because they'll melt faster. To this, I'm going to add around 2 tablespoons of just regular water. Just kind of pour it around. And now we're going to put this in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, when you take them out of the microwave, they're not going to really look melted, but go ahead and stir them around. And then we're going to put them back in for another 30 seconds. Alright, now we're going to stir this up, because once they're melted, then we're done. So stir it up real good. And it's according on to your microwave how fast it's going to take. But I'm going to need to go a few more seconds because I can still see some marshmallows. But this is where I add some vanilla extract. You don't have to do this, but it just gave it a better flavor to me. So I'm going to be adding a half of a teaspoon. Maybe a little bit more. Stir that on up. Actually, I think this looks good. The rest of them's melted. So now here comes the messy fun part. I start adding in our powdered sugar. And it don't matter if it gets all over my table. I done sterilized my table and washed it real good because we'll finish doing this on the table. That was about 1 cup of powdered sugar. And you need to really go fast at this point. And we're going to go ahead and add another cup. We're going to get it to a point that we can turn it out on the table and finish kneading it and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 3rd cup. And really, you know, it depends on your humidity and everything. And yes, it's going everywhere. And you're not going to get it all worked in now. We're just trying to get it to where we can knead it. It's starting to feel good. But I don't want it to stick everywhere. So I'm going to add another cup. This will be my 4th cup. And work kind of quick. You don't want your marshmallow to set back up. And now I have some solid vegetable shortening. I'm going to smear this everywhere I'm going to need it at. And I'm going to smear it on my hands too to keep it from sticking so bad. Yuck. And now I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit more powdered sugar and just start kneading it together. And I'm already can tell I'm going to need more powdered sugar. And now I'm just kind of eyeballing the powdered sugar. And you just want to knead this real good Get it all worked in. You don't want to do it till it's so stiff that you can't work it in, because we're going to let this set at least overnight and let it rest. And this will last a couple of weeks, covered very tight in an airtight container or in plastic wrap. See, we're starting to come together, but see, that's still just too fluid, so I'm going to pour a little bit more in there. And I'm going to start talking real fast because I just looked up, my battery's about to die. So you want to get this to a good consistency. We're not going to color it today. I'm going to wait and color it tomorrow. But once I get it kneaded to the point where it's a good consistency, it's not too soft. See, right now it's still kind of too soft because it just pulls together real good. But once you get it to a good consistency, then take your solid vegetable shortening and well, first lay out your plastic wrap, cover it real good in plastic wrap, and then before you wrap it back up, put a light layer of the vegetable shortening just all over your fondant. It will absorb. And then tomorrow I'll be back to show you everything else that we're going to do. You can see it's kind of messy, but it does have a good taste to it. I really did like it. But I think we're about there. I don't know if you can see that. That's looking good. Because once this sits, it will firm up just a little bit more. Get you just this little bit kneaded in there. And if you put too much in there, just add a little bit more water. If it's still too soft, add a little bit more powdered sugar, or icing sugar, or confectioner sugar. That's looking good, but it's still, I'm just going to work in just a little bit more, and then we'll wrap it up. And then tomorrow, when I start to make her cake, I'll be back to show you the fondant. But I hope you can tell the consistency of it. And maybe one day I'll learn to take off my rings. But I never take off my rings. Never, ever, ever. The only time I take off my rings is when I have surgery or when I had my babies. Then I'd wear it on a necklace. So let me move, well, I'll just do it right here. I'll spread out this towel. Alright, now we're going to get some plastic wrap. Place it on there. Rub a light layer of your vegetable shortening on it. Help keep it from drying out too much. Just making sure that it's covered real good. Fold it over. And then I'm going to put it in a zip top bag and make sure I get all of the air out of it. And then we'll be back tomorrow. But just let this set out on the counter for at least 12 to 24 hours, and I'll be back. Alright, now it's time to get out the fondant, the marshmallow fondant that we made. And I washed my hands real good. We're going to have to knead it to soften it back up. Now I'm going to do the base yellow to cover the cake up with. So I'm going to take a little bit out to do the dots that I'm going to put on it. Take a little bit of that out. I'm going to wrap it back up. And if it gets sticky, just add a little bit of powdered sugar to your table. But we're going to have to really work it and knead it and get it back soft again. And in just a minute, we'll add some food coloring. So I'm going to knead this for a few minutes, get it softened up. And then once I get to that part, I'll be back. Alright, we're getting there. I went and put just like 2 or 3 drops of warm water to get it going, and as you can tell, it's getting smooth. And instead of putting down powdered sugar right now, I just put a little bit of vegetable shortening on my table so that it wouldn't stick. And then when we roll it out, I'll do the powdered sugar because I don't want the vegetable shortening on the cake, on the frosting. See, we're getting soft now. So now I'm gonna, you can wear gloves for this, but I'm not going to. Adding some yellow, you can use the liquid or the paste or the gel, and this is gonna get messy. But just continue to knead it through. And once I get it kneaded in there, I'll be back. Alright, we are about there. It's getting good and pliable. As I hope you can tell, it's not all dry and cracked like it was. Just really work with it, get your color all through there. And like I said, I put down just a thin layer of vegetable shortening and put some on my hands, but before we roll it out, I'm going to wash up my table again, and yes, I did sanitize, and I'll wash my table real good. But then we're going to roll it out with some powdered sugar. So let me knead this just for a couple of more minutes. I'm going to wash up the table, the vegetable shortening, and then we'll roll it out. See, it's getting good and stretchy now, where before it was kind of brittle. But it tastes real good. Ooh, alright, look at my hands, ain't they pretty? And don't pay no attention, these are my real nails. I've always had nails that grew real quick, even when I was little. Now when I was expecting and on my prenatal vitamins, oh my goodness, all the nurses and the doctors had a fit. But they always, when they always break down in the quick and it hurts. And I just haven't clipped the other ones off yet, and I usually don't because by next week they'll be back out long. So anyway, I've got all that kneaded. I am going to sprinkle some powdered sugar on the table. I've washed the table again. We don't want this to stick after we roll it out. I'm going to pour me a pile right here so I can just reach and grab it. It's my mess, I'll clean it up. But on my children's birthdays, what we normally do, I'm going to take half of this off to roll for the other piece. And I have this sitting over here covered up so it don't dry out. For our children's birthdays, we don't have a party every year. We didn't as they grew up. We did milestone birthday parties, like their first birthday, 5th birthday, you know, 13th birthday, 16th birthday, 18th birthday. You know, we'd throw a big party. But other ones, you know, we just have like a little family get together and a cake, and they get to choose what they want me to make, their favorite meal, for one night that week, and then we take them to their favorite restaurant. And so my husband has to work tonight, so my son gets off at 6:30. My daughter's off work today, so we're just gonna go, us three, just go grab something to eat. And then when my husband's able to be off work, and my son and my daughter and we all are able to be together, then we will take her to her favorite restaurant, which is the Olive Garden. You know what? Ooh, I'm sticking. Look at that powdered sugar. Let me go ahead and add this to it, just to have enough for that bottom layer. It's alright, mess up, just knead it back together. And on Saturdays in the summertime, my mom has a pool. I showed it to you in our vlogs, one of my vlogs. So anybody that wants to come over to Mama's tomorrow and go swimming, we'll have this cake. And since it's so hot outside, Mom said let's just do sandwich stuff. And so tonight we'll go and get some sandwich stuff. Mama buy some, I'll buy some, because my daughter's very, very picky. She's a very picky eater, so I have to make sure she's got the type of bread. She don't even eat regular sandwich bread. So, but it's her day. Today is actually her birthday. At 7:07 this morning. I said her favorite number ought to be 7. She was born on 7/17 at 7:07. My husband had a little bit of an accident yesterday, but like he said, it was his own fault. And he was unloading something, and there was a rack of wood. And when he lifted it up, it smacked him right in the face, in his eye. He was afraid for a minute there that he might have cut his eye. But it looks terrible. It's all, he's got a bad black eye, a knot, and everything. But like he says, you know, it was, there's no reason to sue anybody or anything like that. That was his own fault. You know, if he needs to go to the doctor, he can. It'll be paid for, but he don't even need to go to the doctor. So he was telling me that a customer was outside in the garden center and she got stung by a bee, and now she has filed a complaint. Okay, that just really ticks me off right there, because it's it's just people out looking for a free buck. That's all it is. You were outside and you got stung by a bee. If you want some free money, go find the bee and sue it. Really? I mean, that's why, I mean, you just can't even be nice to nobody anymore. I just don't understand that. Alright, let me go get the cake. Alright, I'm going to roll this up, brush off some of this excess powdered sugar as I go. I've had my cake in the freezer. And I'll wipe some of this off to the side. And now we're going to cover the cake. You can buy one of those flat plastic pieces to smooth out your fondant, but I don't do this a lot, so. And that's why you want to get your frosting as smooth as you can. Kind of go around, tuck it in, and brush off any excess powdered sugar. Now I'm going to take a pizza cutter and just kind of go around, and then I'll smooth out the rest. So I'm going to roll the rest of this back out, do it on the top layer, and then I'll be back. I think you get the idea. Whew. Alright, now I colored the rest of the fondant and cut out little circles. There's 3 different sizes, and this is going to be a little tacky because remember our icing was froze, but like this is done, you know, drying out now. And I've got some regular M&Ms, some pastel M&Ms, and I'm not afraid that the cake's gonna topple over, but just in case, I'm going to insert a straw all the way down through all the layers to the bottom, and I'm gonna have something sitting on top that will cover that up, and that'll just help keep it from toppling over. I just got some icing in a little bag that I made out of a zip top bag with a little round circle tip. Any powdered sugar that's showing on the outside, I can wipe that off. And I know this is a pastel colors, but it'll be alright. And I can just brush that off. And I'm going to put a row of M&Ms around this right here and around the bottom. Alright, here's the finished cake. I know now that I probably shouldn't have put the dots on there, because it kind of makes it look like it's for a smaller child, and I should have just left the M&Ms on there, but my daughter likes it, I like it, so I guess that's all that matters, and it tastes good. So but next time I'll know to don't put the dots on there, just leave the M&Ms. But this cake took me all day. I started on from the cake mix this morning, then letting it cool and doing the frosting and the fondant and all that. So kind of time consuming, but anyway. So I'm going to take this off, cover it real good with plastic wrap, and I'm just going to put it in our refrigerator. You could leave it out, but it's so hot in the house, and we have an extra refrigerator downstairs for like the holidays and stuff when I'm really cooking a lot. So there's nothing else in it right now, so I can turn it to where it's not real cold. But anyway, I'll zoom up and do a few zoom up shots. Anyway, my husband says I'm my worst critic. I find a lot of fault in this cake. It could have been more, the edges could have been better, but I see it's not tacky anymore. It's just where the frosting underneath was cold. But there you go. But I do find a lot of fault in it. But I'm like that. And you can just wipe off that excess powdered sugar that was on there. And I've been munching out on the fondant, and it tastes good. But anyway, I hope you enjoy. If you try the marshmallow fondant, let me know. Show me your pictures of your cakes.